Join us at Niagara College's Spring Open House on March 29th and experience NCLife for yourself. Register and attend for your chance to win a $5,000 tuition credit. Visit niagaracollege.ca/open house today.
Create a strategic marketing plan that will increase the current customer base for this opportunity.
We're going to use it as an opportunity.
If I'm putting all of this effort in, I don't want to just be kind of middle of the pack. I'm going there and I want the place.
You have to make the customer feel the
Exactly.
We don't know how many yet.
Exactly.
I am speaking not on behalf only of the domestic marketing students, but I am speaking as an international student. Being able to participate in the OCMC puts us steps ahead in a sea of, I don't know, thousands of immigrants in Canada. It's a life-changing opportunity.
OCMC is the Ontario College's marketing competition.
OCMC is hands down one of the biggest value adds to your program and really tests the limits of what you can do.
It's the Super Bowl. It's a very big deal. It's a big event.
I wish you could be at the competition because there's the excitement of arriving in a new place. There's the quiz bowl night, which is a lot of fun. There's the tension associated with preparing for the cases, the release of tension afterwards. There'll be laughter, there'll be tears in the hallways, and I get to meet some incredible people.
Business case competitions provide our students with fantastic experiential learning opportunities. So they're learning lots of fantastic skills like how to think critically and creatively, how to collaborate with others, in particular their teammates. They learn how to communicate effectively, present their ideas and their solutions persuasively. And also a really important skill is the ability to learn to think on your feet. They have to answer questions from the judging panel and defend their solutions and do so all within a time-sensitive environment.
I think the creativity could come in the promotional strategy.
Yeah.
I think that there wasn't enough discussed there.
An old agency trick when we go into client meetings, we have safe idea number one, safe idea number two, and then very confidently say, hey, here's our out-the-box.
Well, Mr. Pasterk left a very lasting impression on me. He was a great teacher, great support, and helped build me up so that I could get out there into the world. And to be honest, I want to pay that back. So I have been invited as a guest judge to see the OCMC presentations and just to give some feedback on their speaking style and just a vote of good luck so they can go kick butt in the presentation.
Every time they come into the room, it's getting a little bit funny, I suppose now, because we met so often, and every time we meet them, they introduce themselves to me again, as though I'm a new person. But then the closing afterwards is also important because you don't just say, oh, when the questions are finished, you say, okay, thank you and goodbye. Now you need to ask for the contract. Now you need to close. Now you need to arrange some sort of follow-up.
Watching students come out after presenting, this sense of pride and accomplishment of what it is that they've achieved during their time and how they've developed strategic thinking, time management, even networking, the opportunity to interact with the panel and confidently shake their hand. These skills are transferable. Someday you will take the ability that you have learned through this competition in a high pressure situation like a job interview and be able to interact with that same level of confidence.
Specifically in these case studies, I'm given the case study, I'm ready to go. No nerves, I'm just doing what I know to do and I go with it. We will do the best that we can do, we will put our best foot forward, we will bring the best energy, the best ideas, and we will sell as best as we can, as hard as we can, and ultimately, yes, it does come down to the judges, but we will leave fighting with some good energy.
Really, I am so proud of each of you, and I'm so proud of our coaches who, how about a round of applause for our faculty?
The representation by associate deans, especially Sean Kennedy, and I think for those who know Sean know that he's competitive. But watching Sean participate and engage with the students, it meant a lot. It was super exciting for the students and for the faculty. They were all thrilled to kind of get to know him a little bit more and spend time, with him and watch him get as involved and invested in the experience as the rest of us did.
Success is getting into a big group huddle on stage with the whole team. As long as we're on stage, we represent that school, we're happy, we appreciate each other's efforts, and we value one another on the last day, I think that's success.
Now for us, your coaches, your faculty here, that's the reason we do this every year. We do it for seeing you grow. And one thing 100% I can say from every faculty member here, every coach here, we are 100% proud of everything that you've accomplished up to this point. And nothing can change that.
I will never forget these people. I will never forget them.
Niagara College acknowledges the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, many of whom continue to live and work here today. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, this gathering place is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, and acknowledging reminds us that our great standard of living is directly related to the resources and friendship of Indigenous peoples.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi everyone, welcome into our live stream. We are so happy to have you in today. We are at our Welland campus and we are here live, so we're very excited to see everybody. First off, I think it's important that I introduce myself. Hi, my name is Kendra. I am a member of our domestic student recruitment team, but I'm also here to moderate the session and help everybody navigate through the questions. Speaking of questions, I want everyone to know that this is an interactive session. I want you to get your questions answered and I want to be as transparent as possible. So if you are not familiar with the format, we do have a chat where you're able to answer and ask any questions that you might have. So make sure throughout the session tonight that you're putting your questions out there and we'll make sure that we're getting the answers to you. When I say we, it's not just me. I'm actually with an entire team of people. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves, okay? Starting with yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gabriella Ficini, and I am a Global Business Development Manager for International. So I'm here to answer all of your international questions. If we've got international students, please do put on those questions in the Q&A so that I can answer your questions. So I am in charge of helping you come from all over the world to Niagara College.
How long have you worked at the college?
Oh, just 7 months, but yeah, so I hope I have all the right answers.
Oh, you will. Don't worry. Moving on down the line.
Hi, I'm Marissa. I'm a financial aid advisor at the Welland campus. I've worked here a little over 17 years, so I'm hoping I have all the answers for you today. And I'm part of the financial aid team in Enrollment Services. And we assist students with the Ontario Student Assistance Program, which is the government grant and loan program. We help students with scholarship and bursaries, and also just assisting students with different options if they're struggling financially while they're a student here. And so we help domestic students with anything financial aid related.
Perfect, thank you.
Hi, my name is Nadia Galata. I am the admissions coordinator for domestic admissions. I have worked at Niagara College just about as long as Marissa has, so about 17 years as well, and I'm full of good answers. So admissions, basically, we are helping every domestic student apply, work through their admission requirements, get accepted, confirm, and all the way into the first day of classes.
Wow, so we have a ton of people here today who are going to be able to answer questions for you. You might be wondering, how is tonight going to work out? So we've actually broken it up into different segments. So that's not to say that any questions that you ask now won't be answered eventually. We are going to leave some time at the end to answer any questions. But just to keep us going, we've kind of broken it up into a couple of different segments. The first one is going to be, how do I get into college? The second one's going to be, how do I pay for college? The third one is going to be, what do I do while I'm here? And our wonderful guests are going to answer those for you. Thus that's not all we're actually doing tonight. We're doing quite a lot. We are also doing a little bit of a giveaway. So if you are familiar with our website, niagaracollege.ca, you're going to want to go to niagaracollege.ca/livestream, where you're going to scroll down to the bottom and you're going to see all of the details for the contest that we're running. We are actually giving away not 1, not 2, not 3, but 20 domestic applications and 20 domestic or international applications. So quite a lot of stuff going on there for you. So if you haven't applied yet and you're just starting to think about the college, don't worry, that's where we're going to be able to help you apply and get everything sorted for you. But all of the contest details are going to be at, again, niagaracollege.ca/livestream. I think that they've heard a little bit too much from me so far, so I think we're going to move into our very first segment. How do we get into college? Perfect. All right, so we have a question that has come in. So the question is an admissions question, so I'm going to be looking at Nadia for this one. I received an offer of admissions, but it says it's conditional. What does that mean?
Okay, so first of all, congratulations on your offer of admission. That's so exciting. Basically, a conditional offer is an offer where we are waiting for your final grades or proof of your graduation from high school, most likely. So if you're enrolled in high school, if you're enrolled in one of the courses that are required for admissions, then that's where that condition comes in. All we ask is that you complete everything and provide us with a transcript before the beginning of August, just so that we have time to get you enrolled in your timetable.
Perfect. If someone is applied but they haven't seen that, where should they check to make sure that they've got everything sorted for their application?
So everything is available on their student portal at www.niagaracollege.ca/mync. You can use your student ID number and your date of birth to log in. Basically, one day after you apply, admissions does email that information to you. And you can log in and you can see what transcripts we have on file, which courses you have or which may be missing. And you can also see if you've received an offer and what kind of offer it is, if there's a condition on it.
Sounds like the My Future NC is pretty important.
Everything you need.
Absolutely. So I think we're going to move on to the next question. Mm-hmm. So the next one is, I applied for dental hygiene. When will I hear if I've been accepted?
Ooh, okay, so dental hygiene is a competitive program, the most competitive program at Niagara College, but there's a few. So competitive programs, you can actually see which program is competitive and which program isn't competitive by looking on each individual program page at Niagara College. Or through our program availability webpage. They're also all noted there. We'll be making decisions on competitive programs about mid-March. Okay. Yeah, and students will be notified by email, by mail, and on your student portal.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds like the student portal is important for domestic students.
Absolutely.
Equally important for international, I'm assuming?
It is equally important for international students, although there may be different kinds of conditions for international students that potentially are linked to their English language proficiency. So that might be a condition that wouldn't exist in the domestic students, but definitely in the international students. But we do also do conditional offers for international students. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there a place online that you want them to go to for any questions like that?
They would log into MyNC just like domestic students, and there they can see their offers and any conditions that still exist. But the deadline for submitted conditions is much earlier because they have to apply for a study permit. And it's always best to do so. Well, you cannot do it with a conditional offer in English. You could do it with a conditional offer on completion of high school, for example. So it's a little bit more complicated, but certainly students can go to international.niagaracollege.ca. There you find all of the information about international, including the regions that we have specialized people in each region. So I take care of the Americas and the Caribbean, and my colleagues have different areas in the world, so you can connect with us directly and we can walk you through a conditional offer or any questions about your offer.
That's awesome. Thank you. There is also that for domestic students as well. I'm just going to shamelessly plug domestic recruitment for you. We do also offer that as well. If you go to niagaracollege.ca/recruitment, you put in your city, and then you can also be connected with one of our domestic recruiters for a one-on-one appointment, similar to what they do in international.
Yeah.
Perfect. I have a really lovely question. I was accepted. What do we do next?
Oh, well, again, congratulations on being accepted. So basically the next thing is to confirm. That's the most important. Students have until May 1st to confirm, and you can do that online at ontariocolleges.ca. After you've confirmed, you'll receive an email from the admissions team thanking you for your confirmation, and we'll give you a little bit of information about what's to come next. But the big things will come in mid-May, when we'll send you all the information that you need about paying your tuition deposit. There'll be some information about residence in there. There'll be some information about housing, about lockers and parking, and anything else that's important to get started at the college. So watch for that in May.
In May, perfect. So there's probably a lot of important dates when it comes to application. Where do you want us looking for? We'll go first domestically, and then we'll talk about international.
Okay, so if you are going to confirm to Niagara College, then in May, part of that package that we're going to send you is a big checklist. So that checklist just shows you every single important date that's going to be coming up for you in order, so you just have to follow along. If you haven't confirmed your offer yet, or you don't have a copy of that checklist, everything is available on our website. You can go to niagaracollege.ca/dates. There's lots of important dates there, including application deadlines, submission of transcript deadlines. There's all the important dates for the term starts, and I think tuition payment deadlines should also be in and around that area too. Yep.
Yeah, important place to go.
Yep.
For international students, where would you want them to go to?
Well, the deadlines are very different for international. Once you have been admitted, again, congratulations on your offer of admissions, but you do have a very short timeline to accept your offer. Normally about 5 to 7 days, because you have to send a tuition deposit to secure your seat, so that we can send the official letter of acceptance and the provincial attestation letter. We call it PAL for short, PAL. And in order to get those documents, which international students will need to apply for a study permit, they need to send a deposit, and then they have to also confirm which program they're going to be attending. So sometimes if they applied for more than one program, they may have 2 offers, but they really have to hone in and decide and make a decision on the program. So the timelines are a lot tighter because they have to apply for a study permit, and study permits timing and processing varies from country to country, but it normally takes anywhere from 6 weeks to as long as 4 months. So we don't have the luxury of having that much time. So international students need to move quickly. And there was a question that came up about what happens if a student, for example, doesn't have enough English. Is there a way to improve their English to be able to be accepted by Niagara College? And the answer is yes. We have an amazing English for academic purposes English program where you can come and you can study English first, improve your English to the level that you need in order to be able to pass an international exam that will allow you to be accepted at Niagara College. We also have English online, so if you don't want to leave your country, you can start from your home office, anywhere you are in the world, studying English with Niagara College. We also offer some wonderful short-term English programming where you can come in the summer and have an experience, or you can come for a semester. They're all English programs, so if your English is not there yet, don't worry. We'll make sure that we'll offer you the right program so that you can improve your English and be accepted.
Nice. Another question has come in. What happens if I miss the document deadline? We'll start with international and then we'll move to domestic.
Well, if you miss the document deadline, you could potentially lose your seat. So we have a limited number of seats that are allotted to international students. So it's always best not to miss your deadline. If a seat is still available and you miss the deadline, but you're now confirming, if a seat is available, we will confirm at that point. But in order to make sure you don't lose out, then it's best to meet the deadline.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about for domestic students?
Okay, so it's very similar. Obviously, it's important not to miss your deadlines. We don't encourage it. However, it depends on the deadline. It depends on what type of document you're submitting. If you're submitting a transcript and you have applied to a competitive program, deadlines are strict. So if you have applied to a program like dental hygiene and you'd miss the transcript deadline, which is February 28th, very important. Unfortunately, that often means we can't consider that document, which usually will then mean you can't consider the application this year. So again, if you're applying to a program that's competitive, it's really important, don't miss that deadline. However, if there's space available in a program, then of course we can often consider the document late. For things like tuition payments, if you happen to be late on a tuition payment, it depends, again, on the program and if there's space available. What we ask is, or what we really recommend for everybody is let us know up front if you're going to be late submitting something, and then we can make note of it and we can help you the best way that we can, especially when it comes to payments. Contact admissions, we can help. We can often extend a tuition deadline so that you have more time to get that money into us and not lose your spot.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Speaking of payments, I think this is a great time to go to our second segment, which is, how do I pay for it? All right, questions about payments. I'm looking at you, Marissa. So let's see what the first one we have in. This is a good one. When and how can I make a payment?
Yes, as we've kind of already heard, that sometimes once you're accepted and confirmed into a program, you have to make a tuition deposit. So for domestic students, once you've confirmed your offer, you are able to log in to your MyNC portal, and there's a widget called My Financials. So you can actually view your invoices, your due dates, and access all that information there. So a $250 deposit is required for each semester for domestic students, so it will outline the due date for that, and then also outline any upcoming and future tuition payments and due dates. So once you're confirmed, you can log in and view that through the My Financials portal. For international, it might be a little bit different, so that was just for domestic students. And to make that payment, there's a couple different options on how to make the payment. So the easiest option is to actually pay through your bank. So almost like paying a bill, whether you do that online or at your bank, you can set it up. Niagara College is the payee, and then your student ID number is the account number. So really easy to set that up and be able to send your payments that way. There is also an option to pay by credit card online, and you can also pay by certified check through mail too. There's a third option there.
Oh my gosh.
But all the payment due dates and ways to make payments are all available on the website. So if you haven't applied yet either and you're looking at tuition amounts or due dates, that's all available on the Niagara College website as well.
Perfect, thank you. How about for international?
Well, if international students are already in Canada, and many of them are, then they can also go to a bank and do the exact same thing. They can pay at any bank with their student ID as their account number. If they're overseas, then we do have a preferred method, which is CIBC. There's a link through international.niagaracollege.ca. You can go to payment information, and there you will find how to make payments. And through CIBC, you can get actually a quotation anywhere in the world in their local currency. And it will walk them through step by step how to make that payment. And remember that there is a deposit requirement. It's larger than for domestic students. It depends a little bit on the region of the world. So that information would come with the offer, how much they have to pay, but the payment must arrive at Niagara College within 15 days of the offer. So it depends whether they're already here or if they're abroad.
Perfect, thank you. Great support's available, I love this. Okay, so Deborah Hall has actually asked us, when do you apply for OSAP?
So the OSAP application, if you're looking at September, which we consider the 25-26 academic year, is not out yet. So you have not missed any deadlines yet with OSAP. The application usually comes out in the spring, so in May. We don't have an exact date from the government, but usually in May it will open up, and then students can start applying online through the OSAP website, which is just ontario.ca/OSAP. And usually the application you do all online, you receive your estimates online, and then students will receive their actual approval amount sometime in the summer, usually in July.
Perfect, thank you. So we talked a little bit about, when you introduced yourself, about like tuition, scholarships, that kind of thing. Can you talk us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so OSAP, which is the Ontario Student Assistance Program, is one support available to students who are in need of funding for tuition or living costs while they're a student. And as we mentioned, that application comes out in May, and when students apply, they're automatically considered for both loans and grants. So if you're not sure what a grant is, grant money is funding that you don't have to repay, and then the loans you do have to repay. So when you apply, you're just automatically considered for both. It will let you know how much you qualify for each. And then you can use that funding to pay for tuition, book costs, living costs, whatever you need it for based on how much you're approved for. So that's just one option for assistance for students if they're interested. Another option is different scholarships and bursaries through the college. So we have different awards, such as our entrance bursaries, specialist high skills major scholarships. We have our Strong Students, Stronger Futures award program that's starting this September. We have different current awards for students. Once you're an actual student, come the summertime, you can apply for different scholarships and bursaries as well. And all that assistance is free money, we like to call it. So it's definitely encourage students to apply for as much as they can, because there is funding available for students, and everything can be found on our website too. More information about those programs and due dates and things like that, and how to apply.
Perfect, thank you. I'm sure there are international scholarships as well.
Absolutely, we do have international scholarships. In fact, we do have an entrance scholarship as well. So students that apply now, you need to apply now, you'll get a $2,000 scholarship. Also, if you have a high score in your English language proficiency, like academic IELTS, for example, 7, you could qualify for an additional $1,000. And we also award high academic achievement for students that are going into second term that are able to maintain an 80 average with an additional scholarship. So there's lots of opportunities for international students as well to qualify for scholarships, especially if they're dedicated, good students with good GPAs.
I love that. I also want to again say that it's not too late to apply. I think at this stage, many of us, we're all nodding our heads, many of us have had that conversation where it's too late, I can't do it yet. It's definitely not. Make sure you're still considering what your options are. Like I said, we're still giving that contest away, where if you enter today at niagaracollege.ca/livestream, you could actually win your application fee, regardless of your domestic or international, because we're going to give away 20 of each. So still lots of time to apply and lots of time to do all of this process. Nothing is too late for you yet. Don't worry. I think we have a new question as well. Are the fall 2025-2026 tuition due dates available yet, or is that for around May as well? From Michelle.
Yes, they're not available yet. The tuition amounts and due dates will be available in May, but the deposit due dates are available. So usually a first year student, their deposit is due in June, and then if you're a returning year Niagara College student, that deposit's not due until July.
Perfect, thank you. So thank you very much for that. We are going to move on to our next segment as well, which is a little bit about like, when I'm living here, what am I going to get to do? Perfect. So I know that the Niagara region, for some people it's new, for some people they've maybe been here for a little while, so they're not sure exactly what they can do and how they can get engaged. I know a question I get asked a lot, so if you wouldn't mind me answering a question on the panel, is how do I get engaged when I'm a student? What am I going to do when I'm here? We actually launched an NC Engage app this year as well, which takes all of the opportunities to volunteer, to go to events, to get involved in any way, shape, or form, and it condensed it in an app for you. And it's available wherever you find your apps, whether it's on Android, Android or iOS. So definitely check that out first, as well as various things in the college have Instagram accounts. So I would always recommend checking out Instagram because they do a lot of posts on there as well. I know I've seen International do quite a few as well. Yeah. So that's always a great place to start where you're getting involved. A question that we have that came up is, can I apply for residence if I'm on the college program waitlist? I think it's safe to say I'm also going to take that one, but the answer is yes. Even if you're currently waitlisted, you can definitely apply for our residence program. So you're going to do that on their website, and you're going to want to make sure you apply by April 15th. That is their deadline. So make sure you're heading over there. But yes, of course, you can absolutely apply. If you decide you don't want to come to college, you can absolutely get that deposit that you have there paid back to you as well. So it's not kind of stuck there for you. It does give you an option as well if you want to stay in our residence. So highly recommend doing that if you can. So appreciate that. Moving on to our next question. I've applied to residence and I've paid the application fee. What happens next? Basically, the application deadline, like I mentioned, is the 15th. So if you have applied already, you're going to wait. You're going to pay that fee and you're going to wait. You should hear back likely anywhere between 2 and 4 days after that April 15th date if you were accepted or not, or if you're put on the wait list as well. So everything that I'm talking about can be found on our website. We have exceptional resident staff. Shamelessly, I love them. They work with us very closely in domestic recruitment. So you can go to niagararesidence.ca. They have an FAQ, they have a digital tour of the room, and they can answer any of your questions as well, because there is always someone at that front desk as well. Let's see if we have another question coming in. All right. Who do I contact if I have questions in general? That's actually a great question for you to have and to know about. There are lots of ways to get in touch with everyone on this panel, and I know everyone's department here has an email, so I'm going to tell you about the recruitment way to do it, and then we'll walk through the panel and ask everyone to share their contact. So for domestic student recruitment, we use a couple of different ways. We are on the online chat that's available on our webpage. We're also available by email at myfuturenc@niagaracollege.ca. And like I mentioned earlier, if you'd like to book a one-on-one with a recruiter, you can do so at niagaracollege.ca/recruitment. Just enter your city and you'll get paired with one of our recruiters. So you can do a one-on-one on Zoom or in a call, whatever's easiest for you. Road International, how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, same place, and actually if you go to the domestic recruitment site, you can also choose international and it will point you to the right direction, but you could go as well into international.niagaracollege.ca, look for your region, and then you will get our direct contact information. You can also just email international@niagaracollege.ca, and they will do tell us your nationality, because then it will go to the right person. So we do it by nationalities. So please tell us your nationality, and then it will go to the correct person and we'll answer your question.
Perfect, thank you. How about financial aid?
Yeah, so financial aid has a chat function available too from the college website, and we also have our general email, which is finaid@niagaracollege.ca. And we also have a general phone line too that students can call. So our contact information is also on our website, which is just niagaracollege.ca/finaid. And through that too, like we have that general lines to help with questions. And if it's something that's more complex, students can then request to speak to an advisor. We have advisors at both campuses, and we can do in-person, virtual appointments, or phone appointments if students need to discuss personal or extenuating situations with us.
Of course. And then last but not least.
So for admissions, we are always available by email. So our email is admissions with an S at the end @niagaracollege.ca. We're also available by phone, the regular business hours. Our direct extension is 7619. And then, of course, you can also always walk in. We have staff at both campuses most days, but no appointments are necessary. You can come in and speak with the great staff at Enrollment Services, and if there's something that you need admissions assistance with, we can always come up to the front and give you a hand that way as well.
Perfect. I know we've been hearing a lot about going to the webpage and emailing, and sometimes that can be difficult to navigate. I fully recognize that, especially if your first language wasn't English. One thing I always like to talk students through when I'm talking about how to get all this useful information is just how to navigate our website. So I think it might be useful if I take a minute to do that. The big thing is once you navigate there, your best friend on our website is actually the search bar, and it's located in the top corner. You can go by keyword too. So if you're not sure, you have a question about money or you have a question about admissions or international, you can actually just search by keyword. It doesn't even have to be the full phrase or financial aid at. It can just be financial aid, and it's really great at navigating the webpage and helping you get some of those more nitty-gritty answers like dates. So if you haven't been scribbling down all the information that we're talking about, don't worry. I'm sure our moderators have been trying to keep up, put things in the chat for you. But if they haven't, you can always navigate to the webpage and just use that search function. It's incredibly helpful, and I highly recommend that you do so. I do see that another question has come through. Are there athletic teams that I can join? There absolutely are athletic teams you can join. We are the Niagara College Knights. We just did a brand new mascot as well, so we're very happy to do that. But yes, there are a bunch of different teams. We do varsity and we also do recreational. So depending if you're looking to join a more competitive or if you're there are two options for you there. For varsity, we have several different teams. We do basketball, volleyball. I'm going to miss all of them, and then the athletics people are going to come after me. But we do have quite a few that you can join. You can find all the information, like I said, on the website as well. But volleyball, basketball, soccer are all the kind of the big three that we're known for. But we do have others as well, and I don't want them to come after me. So please check the webpage.
I'll add in golf too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely. See, this is why we need the team. But also, you don't have to join a competitive league. If you're maybe somebody who played in high school but just wants to play to let off some steam, highly recommend checking out the recreational leagues. A majority of them are completely free to use. And then there's also free time that you can have in our gymnasium as well. So you can go in, you can rent a basketball just with your student ID, and then you can go and let off some steam or play a game with your friends as well. So there's lots of options to get engaged in terms of getting involved in our athletics area. We love them. Perfect. Let's see if we have another question. I know I have a question for everybody. What's your biggest piece of advice you would give someone? Just something quick. If you had a 30-second, what's the biggest thing that you would give a student thinking about coming to the college?